Welcome back, National Football Show. When they get a show sucks button, I'll hit it. Oh, man. Phillies pissed you off last night. They didn't take care of business, but you know what? I don't think they're done yet, man. I don't think they're done. I think this bad puppy's going to a 7 game, man. I appreciate you guys all coming aboard, and I think it's going to go 7. So hang in there. Still not over yet. Please hit the like button. We appreciate everybody coming in. Thank Boomer Esiason for stepping in with us. Thank you so much. So those were my takeaways. Hey, you see, Boomer said $40 million. Like he was Dr. Evil. $40 million for Xander's boy, Jalen Hurts. Jalen at the halfway mark. He's on pace for 4,000 yards. Will he do it? Will he not? I don't think he does it. You know why? I think they're going to have home field advantage locked up, and they're going to start pulling his ass at the end of games. Why wouldn't you? You're up on a team, especially some of these shitty teams that you have coming up like you have with the Texans. Why keep him in? Why take that chance of getting him hurt? $50 million. Good luck. You keep it. He ain't. Come on. You guys were telling me Devonta is going to have 1,300 yards. You get them. Remember you said Jalen would never throw for 4,000 yards? I still 100% believe that. Absolutely. Absolutely still believe that. $40 million never happened. Because if you do that, half your team's gone. How you doing? Eagles won't be the same. Oh, my God. Then you'll be blaming Jalen for ripping the team apart because he got the money. Why wouldn't they? They won't pull him so he gets $4K. Why would I do – Maniac, that's a good point. Why would I let Jalen pile up all the statistics that he possibly can so that could come back to haunt me in negotiations? How he's smart. Why would I let a guy have 100 tackles in a season when I could pull him and he doesn't have that negotiation tool to come back and negotiate against me? Well, he did have 100 tackles. No, you didn't. You had 80. Why would I give him that vehicle? I think you guys are under some sort of guise that, Jalen, you just keep playing, put up everything, and we're going to give you an open check. That's not going to happen. Okay? I do believe he's not going to throw for 4,000 because Jalen Hurts doesn't want to throw for 4,000 yards. Jalen Hurts wants to win games. Same way Aikman did. And if it just so happens one year he lands on it, he may. But I don't think that that's a priority. That's going to go into my first topic. How important is it for you and the Eagles to go undefeated? To me, I don't think it's a big deal, and I could care less about going undefeated. But do you think it's a thing now? You're 8-0. Is it a thing? Do you care? Is that a goal? Nobody starts the year out going, let's go undefeated. You want to win as many games as you possibly can because you know how tough the league is. That's why with a game like that last night, you don't hear me really shitting on the Eagles for their performance. You're going to get probably 3 more of those. Win the game. Win the game. We can nitpick in here and talk about the D-line, Bellotta giving up sacks and such. But at the end of the day here, it's about winning the ball game here. Should the Eagles make this a priority going undefeated? I don't think it should. Because if you happen to get upset, you happen to trip up, move on to next week, man. Going undefeated, I'll tell you a story that Nick Bonacani told me. Fabe says, I could care less about 17-0. That's the right attitude. I'm going to give you guys a storyline that Nick Bonacani, when I was down in Miami, and I used to talk to Manny Fernandez about it. They're a great defensive line tackle. Monique, thank you. I asked him, when did you guys know you were undefeated? You know when he said, it didn't dawn on us until the New England game, and we realized that we were going into the postseason unbeaten. That's when it became because look, once you get into the postseason, okay, you get bounced, it's one and done. So if you happen to get to that final game, Buoniconti goes, we didn't really realize it. Then we said, hey, I think let's go undefeated. That's when I think New England was the final game of the year that year. And I wanted to see how Manny Fernandez answered it. He goes, we didn't really think about it until after we beat New England. I was like, shit, man. Because you know what they kept doing back then? They played 14 games back then. They kept going like this. Shula kept going. And you know what? Sirianni does this. Let's go 1-0. Let's go 1-0. Let's go 1-0. Every week's a chapter in the book. Every week's a chapter in the book. Hey, do you want to make history? Absolutely. Absolutely you want to make history. But the priority was to win the Super Bowl. It's not to go undefeated. If that happens to be a collateral result of going and winning a Super Bowl, so be it. If Jalen Hurts throws for 4,000 yards and they win the Super Bowl, and that's a collateral part of it, congratulations to you. Seals, thoughts on the Bills and Chiefs having easier schedule than the Birds? It's not how I see it. I saw that dumbass stat that CBS put out there. You've played 2 winning teams. 2 winning teams. How about this to be fair, Ikun? I'll tell you this. They play better quarterbacks in the AFC than you guys will. Who's the toughest quarterback you've played so far this year? Kyler Murray or Kirk Cousins? Those guys play Lamar Jackson. They play Justin Herbert. They play Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Derek Carr. You guys play nothing like that. Cooper Rush. They play bumps. Again, that's everybody in the NFC this year. This has turned not just into an Eagle conversation with bad teams. You even heard Boomer say the NFC's down. Okay? So you complain, win, and lose? No, I point out some areas of the football team that didn't perform that well. Call it complaining? This is what I do, jackass. Derek Carr's average. Okay? What is the likelihood that we are forced to play our starters to win out because Minnesota wins out too? Well, you got the advantage in, okay, I see what you're saying. If they end up the season 16-1, I think they're playing a lot of close games. I think they play a lot of close games, Minnesota. Every game I tune on, it's a fourth quarter football game in Minnesota. They're going to trip up, I think, 1 or 2 more times. Dallas is the team to keep an eye on. That's why a game like last night, you don't want to drop a game like that, because that could come back to haunt you if Dallas gets into that Christmas Eve game with you and they can beat you, and then all of a sudden you start talking about schedules and who you played and who you beat and who they beat, and you start doing all that stuff. Okay? I don't think we go undefeated because we're going to rest players late in the year. That would be the greatest thing on the planet if they're able to do that. Okay? Yeah, hey. Kuhn, listen, no question here. Okay? We're just talking about some of the areas of the team. I'm going to tell you one more time, man. The Eagles, that last night was probably the only time I've seen them drop down to their opponent's ability. Because Houston, I told you this yesterday, Houston was going to come play. They were going to come to play. They were going to show up, and they did. The kid Mills is not that bad, but dude, get this. They had both their wide receivers out. They had numerous dudes not playing in that game, and they still ran the ball like a maniac on the Eagle front seven. Okay? What did I see here? You're not an Eagles fan, JM. Well, you have to be a fan of what they're doing. You have to be. And you have to be a fan of what Jalen Hurts is going through right now. Can I make a point to you about Jalen Hurts here? I didn't think about it until right now. Let me go here with you on something. I didn't think about this. It's going to lead into a topic here. Here, I wrote this down. So Jalen Hurts transferred, right? Because why? He was told that Tagovailoa was better. Made him more motivated? Joe Burrow was told he wasn't good enough at Ohio State. He transferred. Russell Wilson had the job taken away from him by Mike Glennon at NC State. Mike Glennon, a journeyman in the NFL. All of these players, and plus Wilson, third rounder. Joe Burrow was the top pick because the amazing things that he did at LSU. But remember what they were saying? Burrow can't be that good. Look at all the players he had around him. All those superstar players from LSU. It's kind of what they're saying about Mac Jones with him being at Alabama. Yeah, that's right. Wilson transferred because the head coach came to him at NC State and told him so did Burrow transfer, and so did Jalen Hurts transfer. All three of them transferred because they had their jobs taken away from them. Mike Glennon was given that job in the offseason. I know this for a fact. And so he transfers to Wisconsin. I think he took him to the Rose Bowl. All these guys, what I'm saying, all of these guys have some sort of, you heard Boomer talking about being drafted in the second round. Dude, that was like one of the biggest shockers of all time. Is when Asai said, and you know why? Everyone, you know what they held against Boomer? The 83 draft. We had Elway, Marino, Kelly. You know, all those quarterbacks that were taken in that 83 draft might be the greatest draft in history of the NFL. The 83 draft. They were basically saying, well, there can't be a quarterback come out the following year. And that's why Boomer went in the second round. Boomer ended up being an MVP. Took the Bengals to the Super Bowl. Last second drive by Montana. Won that Super Bowl. I was there on the sidelines watching that game in Miami when Montana threw that ball in the back of the end zone to John Taylor. John Candy was really on the sideline. I saw him. He was floating around the sidelines too. We were watching the game. Went over, introduced myself to John Candy. Hey, John, how you doing? I'm there. Kevin Fagan got me tickets. I'm standing on the sidelines in that Super Bowl, and I'm talking to John Candy. And Harris Barton ended up telling me the story. I think they got an illegal procedure in the last drive, and it put him back on the 10 or 12-yard line. And Montana just looked over at his guys and said, oh, look, there's John Candy. Everyone looked. Randy Cross goes like this. Okay, I know we're scoring now. And Montana led him right down the field. Rice was the MVP in that Super Bowl, believe it or not. D says, Dan, I'm so scared of the run defense. I'm going to get to that, I promise you. I wouldn't say scared because your secondary is spectacular. Just spectacular. Okay? Spectacular. CJ is playing. This CJ Gardner-Johnson kid, man, he is making quite a name for himself, leading the NFL in pass interceptions. He's some ball player, dude. He is. Can I say this to you without getting anybody and their panties in a bind? I'm going to say something to you. By the way, we got our predictions. And I want to talk about that. That's going to be like in hour number 3. I want to put that out there. Jalen Hurts is not going to win the MVP. He's not. He's not going to win it. Why do you think he's not going to win it? This is not hating on the kid. You tell me if what I'm saying is going to be fact or Sileo's making this up. I'll let you guys say this to me. If you think what I'm going to say to you about Jalen Hurts winning the MVP award is truth or not, or me being Dan. The league doesn't push him enough. The network shows, Fox and CBS, Amazon, Monday Night, ESPN, they talk Mahomes and Allen. Mahomes and Allen, Burrow. Mahomes and Allen, Burrow, Jalen. Mahomes and Allen, Burrow, Jalen. Is Jalen Hurts a great story? No question. Watch this. Does Jalen Hurts belong in the conversation? Maybe what I should also put in there is, does Jalen Hurts belong in the conversation for most valuable player? An idiot would say no. Of course he does. Of course he does. But we're in a land of fantasy football. We're in a land of giant numbers. Do you happen to think that the league, the way they're changing, okay, do you think that the way the league's changing the rules, where they want big numbers, 450 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, or do you want to see a guy who runs for 2 touchdowns and throws for 1 and 215 yards in the game? Do you think that? I think they look at Lamar Jackson. They don't look at Lamar Jackson in the same category. And the only reason they looked at Lamar Jackson is because he led the NFL with 36 touchdown passes. This guy threw for TDs. Wasn't so much about the yards. D. Gunn's right. He only threw for 3,100 that year. But he led the NFL in touchdown passes. On his way to the MVP and 1,400 yards rushing. He's one of the best open field runners in history at the position. I don't think he wins it. Now, if he were to do what Lamar did and lead the NFL in passing touchdowns, then we have more of a conversation. Forte, Hurts is not going to break the mold. He is not going to do that with voters. Voters in Los Angeles are not going to vote for Jalen Hurts with 23 touchdown passes. Even though, because why? Jimmy Garoppolo does the same stuff that Jalen does. He's no more than that except for this. Jalen runs the ball more. He's more versatile than Jimmy. Jimmy wins more. Jimmy's got the 6th highest win percentage of all time. You would never look at Jimmy Garoppolo and call him a Hall of Fame or a MVP candidate. You would never. Even Boomer Esiason saying, look out for the 49ers. And I'm like, I know. 12 touchdown runs and 22 touchdown passes is not going to get you the MVP award. 50 touchdown passes and 5,500 yards is going to. Sorry. That's the reality of this. Okay? Jimmy G's defense won games. Whatever. Yeah, well then, I don't know. Maniac, every time people do that, then how come every time he's not on the field, they lose games? How come every single time that Garoppolo's not on the field, they lose ball games? At a record pace where you could fire Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, once again, is 9-29 without Garoppolo on the field. I don't know about you. You can't run from that. Hurts is way better. Again, you're talking potential. He's done nothing yet except go 8-0. Last year, we had the Cardinals go 7-0. Year before that, the Steelers went 11-0. I'd hang on to myself before you start getting crazy here. So I go back to what I said to you. Am I right? Jalen Hurts is not going to win a most valuable player award because he's not going to have the numbers. I said that yesterday to you. Is it wrong? Rob was bringing that up on Sports Take, and you could see he was aggravated with it. Hey, no disrespect to anybody here, but who said everything is going to be right? And who said everything is justice? Bottom line is that's not how they vote for that thing. You know it's all by perception. It's a political award. Plus, you're going to look at Mahomes' resume. No one would ever confuse Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Ever. We don't want an MVP. We want a Super Bowl. And I believe that's what Jalen wants. Okay? So how about 16 touchdowns, 25 TDs? The squad has nothing to do with the most valuable player award, bro. Don't even know what you're talking about. Seals, Allen and Mahomes pass every time on Maniac. I know. That's not what I'm saying here. And by the way, one more time, because I know some of you are depth. Okay? I believe he's the midseason most valuable player in the league. But it's not going to end that way. Dude, the national media still thinks Dak's better than the kid. I mean, so this is part of the stuff that I think drives Jalen too. I don't give a shit about regular season MVP. I care about winning home field advantage. Man, get this. This is what the Eagles are playing for now. They're not playing for undefeated. They're not playing for MVP. They're playing to get home field advantage and to make sure that the playoffs run through Philly. What's up, Will? So again, this is not hating on him. And again, I want to make it very clear. Are the three guys right now a coin flip for the MVP? Absolutely. You could watch this. If you went, Jalen Hurts wins the MVP, Sells, I'd have no problem with it. If someone went Josh Allen, I don't have a problem with it. If Mahomes, I don't have a problem with it. You're starting to see those three teams kind of separate themselves from the rest of the league. Are you not? You're starting to see them separate. Okay? It's not so much, again, an indictment on Jalen. It's an indictment on how the league is covered. It's an indictment on the voters. It's not an indictment. Do you know how many times I wanted to throw up listening to Kirk Herbstreit last night talk about Jonathan Gannon? You know how some of you guys go like this? Sills, you're not watching the same game I am. And you know I am. And you listen to them going, Jonathan Gannon has so many complex systems and so many complex schemes and how he blitzes. And I'm like, Herbstreit watches no Eagle football. Anybody who makes an asinine comment like that is not watching Eagle football. This guy's one of the best defensive minds in the game today. I heard Kirk Herbstreit say that. I almost fainted. I went like this. I go, here's a prime example of a very not intelligent analyst calling a football game. And I happen to think he's really good at the college level. When I hear an analyst in the NFL say, I've never played at Arrowhead, I might have a problem with you covering the league. I've never been to Arrowhead before. This is my first experience. Really? Okay. Well, have you ever played in the NFL? Have you even been in a training camp? The answer is no. How he got that gig? And he's talking about Jonathan Gannon last night like Jonathan Gannon is Buddy Ryan. I was floored last night listening to it. And you sit there and you're going like this. Guy, you got to be kidding me, right? I almost fainted last night when I heard him talking that shit about Jonathan Gannon. Gannon's terrible. Oh, but I guarantee you he's going to make a hell of an NFL head coach. Hey, hat on a hat. Wasn't that? He was like, this guy's going to make a hell of an NFL head. I'm like, wow. Yeah, like Josh McDaniel too, I bet. Seth Joyner said he watched the game and looked at Gannon's play card and it was one sheet with nothing on the other side. GT, why do you think that is? Jonathan Gannon's play. Here's Jonathan Gannon's defensive play sheet. Why do you think, what do you think that is? He's got 5 base defenses, and he runs 4 stunts off them. And when in doubt, what does he do? Soft coverage secondary. He's got better players this year. Gannon's mentality is this. My system, better players, doesn't matter. I don't have to come up with design blitzes. I don't have to come up with exotic schemes. I have 4 base fronts and 3 coverages. We disguise them, and that's it. You know, who else has a card like this? It escapes me. He's a friend of mine. I posted a picture with me and him. Xander, who's the head football coach at Mississippi State? Who's the head football coach at Mississippi State? He's got a sheet like this. Mike Leach. Mike Leach has a sheet like this, but you know what Mike Leach has? Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Xander. But you know what Mike Leach has? I've seen it. Mike Leach has 5 formations, and the quarterback in practice is given, he'll go like this. Look, 37 wide. 37 wide. The quarterback then will come to the line of scrimmage, 42 front, 42, 37 wide. If you're on the the hash marks going into the sidelines, and you're on the short end of the field, they'll go brown set, strong, 42, and you'll start adding on to it. But that's weekday coaching. Gannon's got a piece of paper with 4 fronts and 3 coverages. Most of the shit's banjo. Okay? Most of the shit's banjo. Yet the Eagles are winning by 2 possessions almost every game. Get off my lawn. Jonathan Gannon is getting the benefit of the Eagles' record, still not playing aggressive defense. It'll haunt him. You had the shittiest team in the NFL run for 168 yards. By the way, Derrick Henry's coming to town soon. You better put some rocks in your pocket because you're going to get run over. You're going to get run over. This ain't Justin Jefferson with lockdown corners. This is a dude that runs people over. This guy's made a career running guys over. You understand this, right? You ain't got anybody in that front 7 that's going to run that guy over. He's going to run your ass over. Now, if you had big fella in there, got a different conversation. He's going to run you over. I'm not saying the Titans are going to win, but you better have your mouthpiece in for this game. And you better have some extra die pads because homie's coming to town. Yeah. That guy's 6'4", 255 pounds. And when he gets an open space and you're a DB like them dudes in the secondary that the Eagles have, you better go low. Because he going to bring the wood. I'm not so much worried about Saquon Barkley, even though Barkley's a good back. I'm worried about that freak show in Tennessee. That guy can run the ball. How you doing? You think he's scared of anybody on that Jonathan Gannon softest pie defense? Hassan! Hey, this is what I would tell Nakobe Dean for that Tennessee game. Hey, man, you're going to be an inactive this week. Why? Well, I don't know. I feel for your health. I don't want you to get hurt out here. Hassan! I can't wait to see that matchup. Woo! Aaron Jones, too. He can run the rock. TJ, he better have his mouthpiece in for that, too, boy. Yeah. Hey, boy, here I come. Big Sills. I'm going to turn you all into my boys out here because I'm the daddy. How you doing? Matt Nagy. Love that guy. So the run defense, something to be concerned about. Like I said, though, do I think Tennessee can beat the Eagles? No, but they could keep it close. They're 5-2. They're a second seed right now. Last year, they won home field advantage in the AFC. They're not going to go anywhere in the postseason. Why? Because they don't have any wideouts. And you got to move the sticks in the postseason with wideouts. Hey, King goes 27-7 Titans. Why? Because you think your stellar defense is going to hold down Derrick Henry? When you let a dude, what was his name? Shit, last 2 weeks you've given up a 100-yard rusher, haven't you? No, Najee didn't get it last week. Dameon Pierce, who was a backup at Florida. I don't even remember him with the Gators. I don't remember him with the Gators, man. I like Aaron Jones. Problem with the Packers, you need to start taking that offense out of the hands of Aaron Rodgers and put it in Aaron Jones's hands. Steve, I don't even remember him at Florida. Xander and I were talking about the kid Pierce. I do not. He must have played for Dan Mullen. I don't remember him at Florida. I just don't. John goes, Sills, what happened to Kobe Dean? I'll show you. Hang in there. I'm going to show you what happened to Kobe Dean. Nakobe's officially on this week's milk carton. Nakobe Dean, 1-800-NovaCare. If you've seen this dude, can you please call Jonathan Gannon and Howie Roseman? You know, the greatest GM of all time. He told you that. Have you seen this guy? We have now put this dude on the milk carton and for missing persons. This is a missing person here. Nakobe Dean, 1-800-NovaCare. We have operators waiting to see if we can, if it's a ransom, let us know. Hey, there could be a ransom. If there's a ransom. Now, look, what I don't want to have to do is call the FBI and put them on America's, missing list. I'm very concerned. Nakobe Dean, missing in person. We have now officially put his name and face on every milk carton in the Philadelphia area. Also, too, if you want Jersey, they kind of count. Oh. There, that's what happened to Kobe. Man, don't make the milk carton. Hassan's been on that a few times, but I don't know. He's all right? Okay? Guess who's getting on there next? One more week like I see, Keith Sweat's getting on there. We're going to put Keith Sweat on there. Okay? Keith Sweat. There it is. The Nakobe Dean milk carton. He is your award winner this week. 1-800-NovaCare. Please call Jonathan Gannon. Seriously, man. This This is really troubling because we haven't seen the kid in like weeks. Okay. We haven't. Man, you don't want to be on the Big Seals milk carton. Oh, man. Keith Sweat's just about ready. Oh, I think it's coming down between Keith Smart and Frank Sinatra Mulata. You know, they got a Christmas album coming out. Hopefully it's not, I heard there's a song on the album. Yeah. I heard there's a song on this new Christmas album that they have coming out. It's called that I'm Getting Beat on My Left Side. It's got a jazzy tune to it. You don't have to move your feet for this one, though. You just move your head. Yeah, but wait, don't you move your feet to songs? Not Mulata songs. He don't move his feet. Why should we have to? I can't wait to listen to the new Christmas album. Don't move your feet. Like Mac the Knife. Move your feet now. Don't move your feet now. You can move your head now, but not your feet now. Mulata's beat on the left side. Hey, Mac the Knife. Holy cow. Yeah, you don't have to move your feet. You just move your head. New Christmas album coming out. Right? Mulata and Keith Sweat are just about ready to get on that thing. I don't know. You're the only one laughing. PT. That's the only one I give a shit about that's laughing. It's not funny. What? Guy's getting killed on his left side because he's not sliding his feet? You must be watching a different game with those eagle blinders on. I don't celebrate Halloween. It's racist. Oh, God. I celebrate Halloween because it's free candy. Thank you. Boy, you look more into it than I do into shit. Sills, do you celebrate Halloween? Yeah. Do you celebrate Columbus Day? Yeah, you get cannolis and great amaretto. You don't look at the perks in it. I celebrate Festivus if I could. Hey, dude, Mulata gets the benefit of the doubt with me. He's going to turn it around. He's a great athlete. Okay? He's a great athlete. He's totally going to turn it around. I believe it. Keith Sweat, on the other hand, I don't know. Okay? I don't know. We're going to look at all the games coming up here too. God, there's so much. Hey, by the way, Hargrave keeps playing like he is. I am bringing him back. Dude, 3 sacks, 3 TFLs last night. And someone goes, it's against the Texans. Is it fool's gold? God, I hope not. So the last 2 weeks, he's played the Steelers shitty line and the shitty line of the Texans. He's got 5 sacks. Yeah. Are you buying it? I don't know. Dude, hey, Maniac, if Hargrave gets 14 sacks, he'll be all pro. He'll be all pro. He will. He'll be all pro. If he ends up doing what I'm saying he's going to do. Boy, I'll tell you, man. Look, I got to take a timeout here. Xander, right? I got to take a timeout, right? Holy cow, I just went right through the top of the hour. Didn't even think about it. Let me take a timeout. We're going to look at week 9 of the National Football League. We'll take a look at the NFC East, too, as well. Also, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I want to talk about him. God, do I love this kid. Really great. Fantastic. Robert Quinn got in the game last night a little bit, too. Okay. Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.